right now I'll be introducing your country and then I'll ask you to start the presentation.
Cool.
So the next country which we have is an island and one of the 5 boroughs in the New York City. It is one of the pursuing districts in the city where business, art, culture, and entertainment converge. So we would like Rotaract Club of Manhattan NYC to go ahead with their cultural presentation.
Hi there. Thank you very much, Risha. Okay, my name is Anastasia. I am from the Rotaract Club of Manhattan NYC, and I'm the current International Service Director. And I'm going to be sharing as much as I can about our club, but it's going to be more about our district, particularly District 7230. That's where our club is part of. That's the district our club is a part of. And it's going to be more about our district and well, where our community is, basically. I'm just going to go ahead and start. I have the option to share, right?
Yes.
Okay, just a moment, please. There we go. All right. So this is some of our members. There's some of our members. I just want to begin with so you can have a general view of our culture, about how to put a face anyway to some of our members within our clubs, in our club. So we actually call Rotaract Club of Manhattan, NYC. And as I said before, we actually aided from the district 7230, and that actually comprises of 2 boroughs within New York City, actually, to be specific. 2 boroughs within New York City, which is Manhattan and the Bronx, and Bermuda and Westchester. Westchester is not exactly a part. Let me show you here. There we go. Westchester is not exactly a borough of New York City, but it is within New York in itself. So we have Westchester, Manhattan, the Bronx, Staten Island, and Bermuda. These areas makes up District 7230. Now I'm gonna go into it's a long presentation, bear with me. Okay, so Westchester first. Westchester is the largest area within our district. Basically, it was an industrial area within New York. Well, actually, that should be New York, not New York City. It's this industrial area, but now it has been totally transitioned to the residential area. It's mostly, I guess you would call it more like a suburban area, family schools. Yeah, really good. It's a good area because it had a lot of wide open spaces for families and for businesses too as well, and that's why it's known for its parks and lots and lots of waterways. Now the residents majority of residents are white and black, but there's been a lot of increase in number of French persons moving in, and also Japanese immigrants recently. Now the things to do. I know we usually have like hiking and camping and skiing and stuff. Those are well-known stuff that's obvious. But I wanted to be able to point out the hot air balloon festival, which I think was pretty cool. And I'm not and it's kind of a challenge for me because It's so high going up all the way up there. So it's one of my things to do. I haven't taken it off as yet, but it's one of my things to do. So it's the hot air balloon, and then there's the hair rides, which is really cool. We had actually an activity planned during the autumn season where our club just went on one of our club service activities. And of course, there's also the pumpkin blaze. It is a New York tradition. Basically, I found that every year there's actually just they would have the apple picking, and then they actually have the pumpkin carving during the Halloween season, when they actually just get together, hang out, brew some hot cider or anything warm, because around that time it's very it's when the winter is setting in with the autumn. So just get together, we warm ourselves, and we just kind of carve pumpkins, and it's kind of fun. It kind of make the funny faces on the pumpkins. Now, this festival here, the pumpkin blaze, is basically where they use the pumpkins and they put little lights in it and just kind of decorate wherever they may be stationed at that point. I'm in Brooklyn, so in the Botanical Gardens, that's where we gotta just go and see it. But in Westchester, they also have the festival where they'll be able to, carve the pumpkins and just kind of decorate it. Oh, and speaking of Halloween, I don't know if anyone has ever seen Sleepy Hollow. It's a kind of can I say it's a horror or like a scary movie? But Johnny Depp came in it. Most persons should know Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, Scissor Hands. Yeah, he's pretty much those kind of unique movies, I like to call it. But Sleepy Hollow, I love the movie. I need to read the book. And it's the book in itself, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's the name of the book, the full name of the book, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It's a movie that based on that book, and it's a scene in the book that describes where the head of the husband is kind of chopped off and just kind of dropped near the tree with a bridge, and that's actually the replica within the Westchester right there, and it's called the Headless Horseman Bridge, where the tree went through it. The writer of the book actually took that scene, that area, to be able to prop up that scene. So it's always been known as the Headless Horseman Bridge since then. And so it's like 200 years ago. And so that was Westchester. And now we moved on to Staten Island. Another one of but I did say 2 before, it should be 3. Anyway, this can actually be called, Staten Island is actually a borough of New York City. It's also the wealthiest of the boroughs. It's also the least populated, because a lot of the younger persons, they would move on, because everyone wants to get into like the Manhattan, for instance, or the mainland of New York City. But Staten Island is mostly about a lot of community, and they have a lot of parks, a lot of trees, and they're very diverse. It's a very diverse community as well. One thing that surprised me, I didn't know this. I was looking through the information, and I actually found it, is that a little community comprised of mostly of persons of from Sri Lanka, has actually grown in Staten Island, and it's quite a surprise. But one interesting fact that kind of got me, I don't know if there's any Games of Thrones fans here, Game of Thrones fans. I'm a fan, but I'm still I haven't found the time to finish the complete season. Anyway, but the Staten Island is actually the backdrop with the Westeros map, the Westeros and how it's situated for the show. The Westeros map was actually derived from Staten Island itself. Just thought I liked that little interesting fact. the what I read about it is that the author of the book, Game of Thrones, for the book, actually he's actually from New Jersey, and so he was able to. He always looks kind of looked over. He had a good view of the waterway there, and he always looked over and towards Staten Island. And so I guess just kind the shape of it just kind of stuck with him, and that became the shape of Westeros. Now moving on. Now, another interesting thing about Staten Island is its boat graveyard. I know you heard a lot about graveyards, but this kind of stuff can be the boat graveyard. It's not exactly man-made. It's just like it was like since it's been here since about World War II. These are all boats that were made for to go into war, to be able to move the necessary supplies or resources for the soldiers to be able to get necessaries and stuff to wherever they were stationed. Now, they were brought back, but the company that was in charge of it at the moment, they couldn't handle it at a speed that they should. So they were all just abandoned right there, and they've been there since. And if they've created their own little graveyard, as you can see. And I thought it was pretty cool. Persons like to go there to be able, of course, it's kind of shut off. You can't get too close because it's not exactly safe. But the ships, they offer a great view and also a great kind of insight into the structure of the boats back at that particular time, and also what was used, and also the thoughts that could be that were put into it, and probably could probably just kind of come up with your own stories about the past cruise itself. I'm a story kind of person. I love hearing stories. I love telling it. So it was really interesting hearing the stories that persons kind of created from after visiting the boat graveyard. Okay, and Richmond town, it's a historic town that's been preserved for over 300 years by the state. It's I want to say preserved. I mean, like it's been like complete. It's completely as it was at 300 years. There's been, of course, some renovations to be able to keep it intact, but there are no replicas. I can say that confidently because I've made sure I looked. There are no replicas at all. Everything there is as it was 300 years ago. As you can see, the little the kind of the sanitary, the luncheon, the breakfast service, the buildings and the firewood, it's just there. And it's weird because there have also been a lot of weddings. Persons are just like to go there to be able to hold their weddings, and because I guess they like the Victorian feel of the town, because everything, the buildings are still kind of have the same kind of structure, architecture, and it still has the same kind of feel to it. So it's a great step inside into history, so you can be able to go there and experience it, what may have been. Now, another one of our communities within the district is Bermuda. Now, Bermuda is independent, but it's not exactly associated with the USA. It's mostly associated with Britain, because it's independent, but it's still under the Britain rule. Now it has a largely religious community when compared to the other parts of District 7030. They are mostly Christian, though very diverse. Of course, you have the Protestants, the Catholics, and a number. Now the populace is, of course, is made up of about Europeans, mostly Irish and Scots, moved there in the past, and they've created and with the African descent of persons there from slavery, from the slave trade, because all of that has also created that kind of mix of culture and also people in itself. So no, but I mean, so the it's an interesting Caribbean Britain mix of cultures. Now, one of the tradition that has come about from this interesting mix is the thing about wedding cakes, where they actually, for the weddings over here, at least where I'm at in Brooklyn and in Manhattan, there's always the one cake that's made for the wedding, the one big, huge, multiple tier cake. But in Bermuda, they have this tradition where the bride gets her own cake and the groom gets his own cake. And it symbolizes very different thing. The bride's cake would symbolize a fruitful marriage, while the groom's cake symbolizes prosperity. So they bring that together, and then each brings it together, and then they'll be able to complement each other to be able to produce a successful marriage in the future. I thought it was pretty sweet because the tradition still goes on up to now. And also with that, I found that persons also are very superstitious when it comes to the what was the shape I learned? Yeah, it was like a horseshoe shape. It's just round. I didn't make a note of that. I just thought of it. It was a round like horseshoe shape. It means like success towards uh success and success in future life and prosperity. It just means good tidings and expecting good things in the future, basically. So they always seem to make sure that a scene of that is in the backdrop for their weddings because they like to take pictures of that so that it will be able to herald in all those good things for their marriage, their weddings, marriage, yeah. Now, in Bermuda, there have the Bombay dancers. There's, of course, the Bombay festival as well. There's also a Gumby festival as well. It's a tradition that began when black slaves were first brought from Africa. And Gumby is derived from an African word meaning like rhythm, something that I totally have nothing of. But it's totally cool to be able to watch the Gumby dancers dance. They usually performed only on December in December, Boxing Day and New Year's Day, because that was only when the slaves actually got some time off when they were back in that time. However, now it's they dance when there's any special occasion on on the island, or when there's important events, even some place, even when they have like hotels bringing in welcoming visitors. The Gombe dancers would just kind of be there welcoming them along. I actually wanted to be able to show you this here. Yeah, this is kind of like a little fast forwarded. Yeah, so that was just like a a teaser. Okay, so that was the that's part of their tradition where they have these performances and this kind of help person celebrate with person when they have major events in their lives, and also places, special places that they may be going to. No, I think I just skipped. Yes, the Christmas boat parade. Bermuda also hosts this Christmas boat parade every other year, every 2 years, where there's a stunning display of Bermuda-based illuminated boats of all sizes. Where, as you can see, there's like it's during Christmas time that they have the parade, and so it's all, of course, it's Christmas themed with the reindeers and the Santa, and of course, it's a little bit of localities thrown in with the drinks, the tropics, so to speak, and the hats, stuff like that. They usually end it with a massive fireworks display as well. Now another fun thing to do here in Bermuda is the kite flying. This is a big part of I don't want to say it's Christian related, although that's where it started, because the Bermuda kite flying is usually done on Good Friday. That's 3 days before Easter. I think it symbolizes the Jesus Christ being risen. However, it has been there for so many years, the practice, and so it has become more a part of Bermuda in the whole instead of just one particular community. And so this practice is done by everyone basically every year during around Easter time. It's just kind of have fun. Family and friends come out, they fly their kites, and of course they always have the competitions regarding um the designs of the kites and how far the kites can go and how big or how tiny they can be. And now we're at the Bronx. Now, quick note, it is the Bronx. I was corrected a number of times. I need to make sure I say that. It's the Bronx of the this is one of the boroughs of New York City. It is the only one of the five that is located primarily on the mainland. So not much waterways around this part of it. However, it has great profound history. This presentation would not be able to cover it, so forgive me any kind if I'm gonna be a bit too vague on any Bronxites, right? Now, something that should be mentioned is that I found that I learned actually that the Bronx is actually the birthplace of hip hop. Now, my cousin debated me on this because she's saying that it's not, but there's a lot of controversy in it because, of course, hip hop in itself has a lot of branches, but it is a fact that the king, is it no, DJ Cool Herc, that's the name, DJ Cool Herc, actually spun a totally different kind of sound during that time, around when he was 12 years old. Is the story goes that his sister was putting together a house party for a school activity, I believe. And so she had her 12-year-old brother just kind of assist her with the music. And so he was the DJ for the night. And during that time is when the music was just kind of born. At least that's the story I read. And here's a little listen. All right, I'm gonna have that. Skip. Okay, so yes, that was DJ Cool Herc. Are you guys still with me? See, we having some internet problems. Yes, that was DJ Cool Herc. Now, movies. The Bronx has also created a lot of movies that tell the tale of the little guy on the streets, and also has helped highlight a number of issues that trouble how do I say this? Trouble youths, minorities, so to speak. One such tale is the Bronx Tale. It was a story about Italian father. It has some mob connections, and then there's a Knights of the South Bronx, and then there's Finding Forrester. I highlighted that because Finding Forrester is one of my favorites. But they were all good tales that actually covered the culture of the Bronx at a time. And what I liked about it is that they were very very close with what was actually the way of life at that time, and also they didn't stray away from the issues that also pervaded that time as well. Now that's edge, the toughness that Bronx has become known for, probably somewhat due to the movies as well. It can be seen in the art, the street art, the graffiti that can be found. A lot of persons, actually, you can learn. I find that you can learn a lot from actually watching the art, and you can actually feel what the artist maybe kind of say if you look at it good strong enough. For instance, this statement here just saying the Bronx, the colors used, the fact that the words are so bold, right? And that in itself can describe the Bronx as it is. And also it's an advantage for businesses as well. I find that a lot of businesses have also jumped on this wagon because they're able to advertise their various industries really well, because the artists captures are able to portray and tell a story every time they put paint on the Bronx buildings, concrete, so to speak. And then there's Bronx, Little Italy. Now, just so you know, the Bronx does indeed have its own Little Italy. I find that there's a Little Italy, Little Russia, a little sometimes there's a Little India, because every past community has a bit of like captures a bit of the culture from somewhere else in the world. New York is just a melting pot. That is just basically that's it. It's a melting pot. Now, Little Italy, as is very little, the Little Italy as they call it, they were able to adopt the Ferragasto Festival of Italy. It's a festival that it's came from Italy, of course, but they actually adopted that. It's the USA, and it quickly became part of the culture here. It's basically a chance for a person to be able to experience the food that has grown, that came from Italy, but it has grown into its own kind of blend mix, because there's a bit of Caribbean taste to it as well, because after a number of years with all these cultures kind of blending, of course there's been a lot of sharing of experiences and tastes. So the food has, I think we could actually say, it's Bronx. It's the food of the Bronx. The Little Italy is truly the Bronx. So it's the fine diner restaurants, handmade and imported Italian products, and much more. So it's so the Ferragasto Festival, that's what it comprises of. And I saw one of these, so I was so kind of tempted to do it. Anyway, moving on. Manhattan, as I said before, it's quite densely populated. Everyone wants to be part of Manhattan. There's like so much happening here as well. They have the fashion district. They have the industrial district. You have the financial district. There's an area for every personality, right? You come to Manhattan, I'm sure if you go to the right place, you're going to find your people. You will definitely find your people. That now, this may be, as it's right there among the world's major commercial cultural centers. Now, iconic sites include skyscrapers such as the Empire State Building, the late Times Square, and the theaters of Broadway. And I have some pictures here. Some of my members sent me some of these pictures, because I know you're no stranger to like stuff in Missy, like Rockefeller. Our new director of new members here, Mr. Prasad, he's signed on Rockefeller. And then we have the ice skating rink in Rockefeller below there. Yeah, with a tree. And this is in Times Square. We have Rotaract Catherine with our VP there, Abbott. And that's a Central Park, and we have Empire State Building. Now, these are things that you obviously know about Manhattan. The Oculus, and then Grand Central Station. I've always loved those chandeliers that they have set up in the Grand Central Station. But the vessel, I think, is relatively new, and I really want to be able to share this with everyone. It's one of the, well, it's called the vessel officially, but the RT said it's like totally open to interpretation, because it wasn't built for a particular purpose exactly. It's just art. It's a piece of art. It has elevators, but the attraction is meant to be climbed, because it's 150 feet in height, with 154 intricately connected flights of stairs. So yes, it goes up and it goes up and it goes up. And I would advise you to climb it instead of taking the elevator. The elevators only go to a certain point anyway. So climbing it definitely has its own kind of enjoyment, especially when you reach all the way at the top, because the reward being the view is really great from all the way at the top there. Now, regarding my interpretation of it, when I first saw it, I was thinking like a honeycomb. And then I thought like a bee's nest. And then I thought Superman's spaceship. Definitely. I'm not talking about the one when he's a child. I'm talking about the one like when he grew up. There's a movie to it. I can't remember the movie, but I just kind of visualize kind of the spaceship in my mind. That's what I see. That's what I'm getting. All right. There's also after going all the way to the heights, we have the underground, New York City's underground. And these are for persons that are not claustrophobic. Now, Manhattan has a number of underground tunnels, particularly the St. Peter's catacombs under the church. Now, it's a great activity to be able to go seeking. You can pretend to be an adventurer, Lara Croft, who's ever seen the Tomb Raider, or Indiana Jones. Yeah. So it's has a lot of tunnels on the ground to various persons to be able to just go ahead and enjoy the travels, and also uncover some secrets. Now, Manhattan is also known for its many museums. There's different museums of different types. There's the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That the name itself covers it. It basically talks about different types of art, paintings, sculptures, and it has from like eras and eras gone by. And it also covers some contemporary pieces as well. And then there's also the American Museum of Natural History, that explains itself. And of course, there's a Jewish museum. That's a thing as a recent addition. And then there's also the Spy Museum. And it's not just a museum, but it also allows you to be able to go there and actually have some fun, go on missions. So you can actually go there and be like Jackie Chan, get your spy mission, or the Smiths, John and Jane Smith, and just pretend to be a spy. I've always wanted to know whether I'll be able to get through one of those things successfully as they do in the movies. Never know. I might surprise myself, right? Now, another attraction that I would think that worth mentioning is I know there's Broadway. Everyone knows about Broadway, and there's this off Broadway and stuff like that. But there's the little theater that I find that Sleep No More Theater. It has this immersive kind of quality to it where they allow the participants, the audience itself, to go on stage and be part. They allow the audience to go on stage and be part of. Sure, they could go on stage and be part of the play that's currently going on. So of course, it won't be any kind of major character, but you could be able to join the actors as they perform. Now, this is my last slide, everyone. I know it was very long. Now, just want to be able to highlight the various festivals that will be covered on the New York City. Well, there's a lot of festivals because, as I said, New York City, New York is basically it's a melting pot. It's a different kind of cultures, a different kind of people. So there's just a lot of to be able to explain and be able to talk about. So every few weeks, actually, there's a festival or there's like an event to be able to showcase and highlight these different kind of cultures or things that persons want to share, the different communities want to highlight. So this is just like a few. I think I've covered from various aspects of it. There is the Tribeca Film Festival, where Tribeca Film Festival, the Cherry Blossom Film Festival. This is adapted, I think, from the Japanese film Japanese Cherry Blossom Festival. We have it here in the botanical gardens over here. The Cherry Walk, we call it. And then there's the Holy Festival, where they have the biggest Holy celebration in New York. And then there's also the Coney Island Mermaid Parade, where persons kind of dress. Kids love this. Kids absolutely love it. They got to be able to dress in their costumes, pretend to be mermaids, and then the entire Coney Island kind of just dress up, decorated in like a sea world. So, and then you get to see octopuses and like lobsters kind of walking around right beside you. It's pretty cool. And then there's the Battery Dance Festival, where you'll be able to go see free performances of the dance group. And Broadway, Bryant Park, and these are all free events. And then there's a Chinese New Year parade, where the culture is on display. I really love seeing the dragons perform. And then the New York Comic Con and the Halloween parade. I think should be no. And that kind of ends my presentation. Right, I'm so sorry it went on too long, but I really wanted to be able to cover all the different aspects of my district and what it has to offer. Although I think I still kind of left out a lot. But thank you so much for being patient with me and listening. That's it.
Hi there. That was very brief and that was like really beautiful. We have a few questions for you. If you can answer this.
Sure.
The first question we have is, in the last slide only we saw like you celebrate Holi. So it is an Indian festival. We have like a story behind it. What is your story behind celebrating the Holi festival?
Oh no. Well, as I said, New York is basically a melting pot. So it's basically the same story that you have. I think it goes with the overcoming good overcoming evil.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and then the ashes came from a goddess, and then the ashes were just kind of used to be able to celebrate since then, to kind of symbolize that event, the fact that good will always overcome evil.
Okay.
It's really nice.
We have some similarities.
Yeah.
So how do you exactly celebrate Holi over there?
Oh, it's with the powders, and then they have the dance performances. Yeah, it's I think it's basically similar. It's just that we're not so traditional with it, because it's the Hindus here kind of brought it to an observance for us, and of course, being New Yorkers, they're gonna just kind of make a party out of it. So, yes, we're gonna make a party out of it. So the powders, I just kind of go off, just kind of show the powders first. I'm just gonna have fun. It's like you're gonna spray in water, having fun with water.
We also love that you included some unknown facts about New York City, which we have never heard about, such as the boat graveyard and the
Yeah.
yeah. And we also love the two cake concept, one for the bride and one for the groom.
Yeah. I wanted to be able to highlight some parts, some aspect of New York that's not really seen every day. So
Yeah. Also, some of our viewers wanted to know what is borrows. Like, what is a borrow actually? You said borrows in your PPT.
borders?
BOUGSDL.
Oh, boroughs. I'm sorry. Yeah, the boroughs. New York. There's the New York State, and then there's the New York City of New York.
Okay.
So New York City has 5 boroughs, or you can say 5 regions. The boroughs are 5 regions of it. And then we have the Brooklyn, we have the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. Those are the 5 boroughs, the 5 regions of New York City.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
I guess that's it for this time. Probably we'll have more questions for the next time and more unknown facts we would know. We'll discover more unknown facts from you. That was
Okay.
a beautiful presentation.
Possibly the Bermuda Triangle theory.
Yeah. But thank you so much for inviting me, guys. It was great being here to share this with you. And I'm so sorry if I missed out other facts because there's a lot of information to be able to cover. But I'm glad to be here.
So, do you like a portal, like the Hubilo portal?
The portal? Oh, I don't think I have.
Yeah. So it has a feature in which you can chat with other participants. So you can connect with different members from different countries and build your connections.
Oh, where can I find it?
Arya will help you offline with it.
Thank you. That'd be cool.
Yeah. It was great to meet you, Anastasia.
Catch you soon.
Catch you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Catch you soon. Bye.
Rafael, can you please switch on your video?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Rafael.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Sorry to keep you waited for a really long time. So, yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'm just getting set up here.
Yeah, we are just waiting for your party to join in.
Hey, can you hear me?
Are you talking to me or to Agustina?
Yeah.
Hi, Agustina.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking.
Great. So,
So first, I will introduce your country and then you can continue with your presentation.
Great.
So now the country which we have, it is located in South America, which is surrounded by Argentina and Brazil on both sides. The country is very rich in its flora and fauna, and you will get to see the most amazing beaches here. We would like District 4975 to go ahead with their cultural presentation.
Hello, so I'll quickly share my screen. So, hola, my name is Rafael.
Hi, my name is Agustina. You can call me Agus anyway.
You can call me Rafa. We are both from Rotaract Club Plaza de la Aviación Comercio, or PAC for friends. And we want to talk a little bit about our country called Uruguay, and we want you to answer us a question in the chat. So what's the first thing that comes up to your mind when we say Uruguay?
Okay, let's check the chat.
Sne says, hola.
Hola.
So yeah, we are directly connected to the portal via the Zoom link.
Yeah, they can see, I guess, right?
Yes, we are seeing the chat right now.
Yeah.
Suárez. Dicen por ahí. Mate.
Suárez, yes.
Great.
The first thing which comes to my mind are the beaches.
For land, beach.
Great. That's great.
Well, that will help us a little bit, and let's see if we can change your thoughts for the end of the meeting. So let's continue. Where are we?
Where is Uruguay? Okay, so as Homer says there, we are in South America, between the largest countries in South America, which are Argentina and Brazil. In Uruguay, our main language is Spanish, but 15% of the population speaks Portuguese as well.
Like me, bon dia.
That's right. Anyway, we are only 3.5 million people, and we are divided in 19 departments or states, maybe for more friendly term.
Yeah. By the way, we have around 3.5 million people, but we have 12.5 million cows. So we have around 4 cows per person here. That's a little fun fact, since we are an agricultural and IT country. So we have a very strong agricultural sector. And that leads us to a country with contrasts between what is the capital city, Montevideo, and what we call it interior, which would be the rest of the country, basically, which is just another fun fact. Montevideo is the most populated city and has more than half of the population of Uruguay, around 1.5 million. But the second largest city here doesn't reach to 100,000 inhabitants. So there is a huge difference between what would be the capital and the rest of the country.
Yeah, and a fun fact too is that Montevideo is the smallest department in Uruguay. It only covers 60,000 meters. So it's a really fun fact that half of the population lives here, since it is the smallest department and city in the country.
So let's continue with basically us. So we're part of the district 4975, okay? But previously we would call it Rotaract Uruguay, because it's the district or districts we were just merged that cover most of the country, okay? You will see here a map of Uruguay. You can see the 19 departments, and this small bean here is Montevideo. Half of the country lives here, Okay, and this will be the map of what our district covers. Okay, so it will left just 3 departments that share with we share with Argentina. And on the dots, you will see all the clubs around the district, which are around 20 clubs, with half of them in Montevideo. You will see a lot of that in Uruguay. And we are proud members of what's called IRAUP. What's IRAUP? IRAUP is basically an informative agency, a group of districts. So here you can see a map of all the districts that take part of IRAUP, okay? And that covers Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. Once a year, we host in the agency a gathering, an event called IRAUP. That's a meeting between all the members of the agency and open to anyone that wants to join. This is a picture from the last presential IRAUP hosted in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It moves each year to another host. And yeah, so just to remember you the days before the storm. History time.
History time, yay! Well, so Uruguay actually it was a colony from the Spanish Empire, but around the 18th year, we started a fight led by Jose Gervasio Diaz, which is the man there in the middle of the presentation. So
here
we the Spanish authorities and we won them on a battle that took place in Las Piedras on exactly the 18th of May. So after that, we became like a buffer state, which means that it's a country between 2 strong countries, let's say, that kind of fight each other, which in this case is Brazil and Argentina. And also, since we are like in a really smart spot, because we are like the entrance to the continent, because we have the Rio de la Plata, a lot of other countries such as England and Portugal as well came back again, start putting interest on us, because our territory was a really smart spot. So what happened is after some touches and go anyway, on the 1830, we became an independent state with the guidance of John Consolvi. I had to check the name, sorry. Anyway, after that, we first signed and declared our constitution on 1830. And sorry, I was mistaken. We fight for the independence on 1828.
Well, that covers up a little of our origin as a country. But the other thing important about Uruguay's history is that we are a recognized country by our human rights laws and fights here. An example of that would be that in Uruguay became the first country in Latin America that allowed women to vote. That would be on 1927. And that's another fun fact. The first woman to vote was a Brazilian immigrant here in Uruguay. I don't have her name right now, but just to let you know. The other important thing is that Uruguay separated the state from the church long ago in 1918. So we are a secular country. This guy right here is Jose Pedro Varela, and he basically established the universal education here, and our education is secular. Although we don't have an official religion as a country, we are strongly influenced by the Catholic religion, by the Spanish, but we have all kinds of Christianity here. They are the biggest the religion. Second would be the religions that came with the African slaves on the colonial times. But we still are the one of the most atheist and agnostic countries on the world, and that will guarantee here in Uruguay that we'll have religious freedom. That's it for that part.
Yes, exactly. And also, I was just checking the chat, Rafa, and someone put something that she know us for being the first country that provided with a computer to every school child.
Oh, we can let that for the end. We can discuss about that. That's called Plan Ceibal. I'll note it down.
Yeah, so going on regarding the presentation, even though we are a country that does not have any official religion, we celebrate some international like parties, you know. For example, Christmas is one of the important celebrations here, even though by law it's called Family Day. It's not called Christmas, but on the day everyone here just says Christmas. Then we also have like the New Year. New Year is like super nice here. Everyone goes out. I mean, not now, you know, but everyone goes out. One of the formal and famous parties here is in Punta del Este, which is in Maldonado, and it's like one of the most elegant beaches, let's say, here. And also one of our like important weeks or dates are what is known worldwide as a Holy Week. Here we call it Tourism Week. There are so many activities around all over the country, but one of my favorites in particular and one of the most known is the Beers Week in Paysandú. It's like a it's like a 1 week festival that says that there are so many carnival attractions and like beer shops, and you can eat a lot of our traditional meals, and it's really amazing. If you came in that day to go to the beers festival, it's amazing.
Well, although we love our country and all of that, we're not very nationalists. I know that the nationalist party members will hate me on that, but we as a country are not that proud. And one of the, if not the biggest parties here in Uruguay is called La Noche de la Nostalgia, will be Nostalgia Night. That takes place the night before our Independence Day, the 24th of August. And in that day, the 24th of August, all the radios, bars, clubs, and basically everyone is in the nostalgia mood. And you can listen to music from the 60s and beyond. There's something right now that's called anti-nostalgia for the youngsters, but it's a way to celebrate the good old days, if you say, and people dress like in hippie fashion or in 70s in disco fashion, and we just have a very good time. And that's even starting to spread out to Argentina, which we share a lot in common. So I think that's our biggest party here.
Yeah, that's true. And fun fact before going to the
Second
carnival
biggest
is that,
party.
yeah, nostalgia night brings more. Is the party that brings more income to companies here, including restaurants, clubs, bars, even more than Christmas and New Year's Eve. Nostalgia night gives people a lot of income. So moving on, another one of our most important festivals here, let's say for a reason, is the carnival. Uruguayan carnivals are the longest carnival in the world. They are from the first days of February, ends of January, until the middle of March. So there are like 50 days of carnival where you can find a lot of things. We have Desfile de Llamadas, that it's like a parade around the 18 de Julio, which is the main street, like one of the main streets of Montevideo. And you will see there a lot of people dancing with really cool costumes. It's like we have queens, and it's amazing. I would recommend you to come here on Carnival as well.
It's like the Brazilian, a diluted version of the Brazilian parades.
That's right. That's right. And it has been declared intangible cultural heritage by as well. So it's really great.
Well, what you are seeing here in the picture, it's what we call murguista, and that's another very important part of our carnival. The murga is basically a chore of around 20 singers, predominantly male singers, which they focus on parody, satiric humor, and theater. How can I better explain to you what's murga
without a video?
Without a video? So I want to share audio as well. It's shared. Can you confirm, production? Hi, production.
Yes, I can hear you, but I do not hear the video. No.
It's not sharing audio?
No. It's not.
Share sound, yeah. Right.
La bendición y en la tormenta. El paredón y el carrusel. Taramarras como un barco de papel para volver. Andan de nuevo mis pasos, buscando tu abrazo, doblando la esquina, con el reloj de costado, latiendo estrellado contra tu farol.
Well, that's enough. we can spend all the night, but I just wanted to give you some more context because it's really hard to visualize. What you just saw, it's just the introduction for one of the most famous murga groups here in Uruguay. That's called Agarrate Catalina. They even do world tours. And you saw the introduction for the official carnival competition here. We took that part very serious, and all the groups present themselves and are awarded points every night based on humor, satirical views, on their current affairs, the costumes, the makeups, and the musical part being the song, the melodies and the lyrics. If you are not into Uruguayan politics and ins and outs, maybe you will miss some of the jokes, but that's Murga is a type of critic to all the disparity on the world and what happens to us in the day by day. That's what makes it very unique and very worth sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely love Carnival. I don't know if you saw me dancing, but I really, really love it. I recommend you everything around here, but yeah, Carnival is by far my favorite tradition in Uruguay. So going on about music, mainly in Uruguay we have a strong influence from Europe. Sorry. So the folk popular music shares a lot of influence from Europe, I agree. So, and also not only with Europe, but we also share like the roots with Argentina. You will see now along while we'll be talking about some other subjects that we share a lot of stuff with Argentina. So if there is any Argentinian here, call me wrong.
Gardel es uruguayo.
But anyways, this what you are seeing now, it's called folks in English, folklore en español, Spanish, sorry. And that's it. It's like a partner dance, you know, where they use like all the dress that you are seeing there. They use scarves and everything.
I have the introduction for one of the more modern versions of folklore.
Yeah.
Esto pide baile. Esto pide baile. Vamos a levantar esa mano y vamos a hacer palmas.
As you can see, it's a genre meant for dancing.
Yeah, definitely. We also have a strong influence from tango. One of the famous tangos here is La Comparsita, which was written by Gerardo Matos.
Señoras, señores, el tango de los tangos, La Comparsita.
La Comparsita is one of the most famous songs in the world. It's on a lot of movies.
Yes. Also, another like traditional dance that we have is not just a dance; it's like a game of words. We call it La Payada, where two singers with a guitar start like a fight, let's say, against each other with rhythm, with things that they are coming up at that time. I mean, there is no like pre-written song or anything. It's that it happens at the moment. They grab a guitar and they start with each other, talking and singing to each other. And it's also very common to do it between like a girl and a boy. It's really fun. It's really, really fun.
So let there be rock.
Yeah. Okay.
You want me to?
So guys, sorry for interrupting. I'm going to just be here for 2 more or 3 minutes, and I will go because my shift will start at work, and I will leave you with Rafa. It was nice to meet you all, and
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming here with us and joining us. Thanks a lot.
yeah, it was a pleasure. I need to start my shift in a few minutes, so I will leave you with Rafa with the rest of it that I promise is amazing.
It's great.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
adjusting your schedule according to this.
Thank you.
So I will continue. I'll take on. Uruguayan musical culture is very dominated by rock. We have our own genre of it. We call it Uruguayan rock, but it's not technically called that. It's música mestiza, which will be mixed music. It mixes a lot of other genres and instruments, and our most popular bands around the world and in here are these three: La Vela Puerca, El Cuarteto de Nos, and No Te Va a Gustar. Agustina took the time to prepare a little Spotify playlist with some of the Uruguayan songs, and you can look for Made in Uruguay playlist, and you will find a lot more, not only rock. As I said, you have La Vela Puerca, El Cuarteto No Te Va a Gustar, but you have thousands, if not more, different styles and bands to look up for. Well, it's food time, so I was thinking about having it my mate here or not for the presentation, but it's summer and I don't like sweating a lot. Mate, for the ones that don't know, because I saw that someone mentioned mate in the chat, you will see like it's sort of a tea. It's a herbal infusion with what we call yerba mate. This is the cup, and we drink it via a metal, generally straw, called bombilla. And this is the most popular drink here. And you will see, or the second, and you will see popping up here are what we call torta fritas, which is basically a fried dough with mostly cow fat that we typically eat on rain days. So today is raining here, and the first thing that pops into your mind is, oh, I would love to have a torta frita with coffee or mate. Another popular dessert here would be alfajores. It's basically two sweet cookies with a sweet infill covered with chocolate, generally, as you can see here. This infill is called dulce de leche. We have a lot of rivalry with Argentina, who invented what, but you may have invented dulce de leche. The best one is from Uruguay, I can assure you. And if you come here, please try one of our many alfajores. Wine. Wine is quite important here. We are a big producer and a big consumer of wine here. Uh, if you come, you can visit different viñedos. I don't know how to translate that word, and taste and see how the wine here is made, and have a very nice weekend tasting all sorts of wine. We couldn't talk about Uruguay without mentioning asado. We are quite famous for our meats quality. That's why we have a lot of cows here. We are a big meat exporter, and the asado is basically an excuse for a gathering with friends, with close friends. Vineyards. Thank you, Micha. Well, that's it. Cow meat, asado, but we don't just consume cow. We also consume sheeps on the asados, on pork, but mainly cow meat. Another popular dish that you have, it's a must if you come here, will be the chivito. The chivito is basically a sandwich that has a steak, fried eggs. It's usually accompanied by French fries, lettuce, tomatoes, eggs, olives. It has a lot of stuff in it. Definitely, you should try if you can. And right now we are having. I know that in India there's a lot of vegetarian and vegan population, but all around the world you will have also vegetarian and vegan options of chivito and asado, although I haven't tried vegan asado yet, that are quite good here. So give it a shot. This is another dessert, very popular here. It's called chaha. It has, my burgers are also the best in Europe. Martin passing up the marketing. So chaha is another very popular dessert here. It's like a cake. It has a lot of meringue, and also it has peach, sweet peach or canned peach. For my taste, it's very, very sweet. Give it a shot if you like sweet stuff. And football. In the chat, someone mentioned football and Suarez and Forlan. Forlan is retired on Uruguay's main team, but he's still playing. He's retired from football. He was a technical director. Here you can see one of the most famous players currently, which will be Luis Suarez and Edison Cavani. And our how the football impacts our culture is very weird to expect, because even though if you don't like football, like me, when the main team plays, it's like a whole country event, and you can feel it on the whole people. So we are a very small country, but football-wise, we are quite big. We are the smallest population, talking winner of the World Cups, and we are the country that won the most awards on the Copa America. That's a competition with whole South America, and that are some big words. You have the Brazilian team and the Argentinian team that are quite good. So that's something that keeps us very united and proud. Diego Godin. I don't know where's District 3941, but I'm quite surprised if it's not in South America that it's famous around there. Let's talk what you can do here if you come to visit us. First, you have Montevideo. Mostly you will arrive here. I don't think you will arrive by any other means. Our international airport is the International Airport of Carrasco, which is, well, in Canelones, but you will come to Montevideo. Montevideo is quite a good city to visit. Basically, it's the biggest. But you have a few beaches here, which are not bad, not my favorite. But Montevideo has a very historical importance. Here you will see, here's Plaza Independencia, a view of Palacio Salvo, a very old building, and all around downtown you will see historical buildings, and you can visit most of our museums here. The Gold Shore, what we call La Costa de Oro, is basically a very large group of some of our most gorgeous and loneliness beaches here. They are not crowded and packed full of people. I just picked some of the most relevant. Here you will see El Águila de Atlántida, which is a must here. And I don't remember exactly which one of the beaches was this. I think it's Los Titanes, but give it a shot. Look for La Costa de Oro. It means Gold Shore, and you will have a whole list of beaches that are not that visited by tourists. What tourists visit the most is the east, what will be Maldonado and Rocha mainly. Here you have Punta del Este, but the east is not just beaches. You have a very historical and meaningful places to go. I just picked one of them, which would be Santa Teresa's Fort. You can really take a look at what was this part of the world before that we were a country. Those are from the colonial era. The last, but not least, thing that as a tourist you should try here in Uruguay is ecotourism. We value a lot our nature, and in the state of La Valleja, you can even visit abandoned mines and do trekking. Also, this one is from Pan de Azúcar. You can jump down there. I did that. I did trekking on Pan de Azúcar. So if you have a good stamina and a whole weekend to explore, you can really get in touch with nature and enjoy some beautiful, beautiful views of what would be our little countryside. Well, that will be it for the presentation, but I want you to hear your questions.
Hey. Yeah, so I have one question. So do you guys support exchange programs, right?
Rotary wise?
Yeah. Rotaract?
We have hosted some, but we are not sending people abroad right now.
Okay. So what is the best time to visit your country if you want to come there?
It really depends. For if you come from a very hot country, definitely try summer because winter here tends to get quite cold, principally for the more for residents in very hot areas, and we are quite humid as well, so you won't like it. But if you're from uh, a template country or even a cold country, do come in winter. We have winter things to do. We have thermal waters. The historical part will be there. Even the beaches are awesome when there's less tourists and people there. You can really enjoy the views and get in touch.
That's great. That's great. And also, you shared about the one interesting fact that you guys have 4 cows per person, right? It's really interesting fact for to know about this country. So yeah, I was really surprised, to know these things.
Yeah,
Really
I'm seeing another one. What was the concept of Beer Week exactly?
Yeah.
So basically, it's a whole week's festival. We have shows, we have carnival games. The concept is fun. We just gather in Paisandu and have some fun and enjoy beer. Homebrew beer here is quite popular, and we have our own brands and stuff. So you will have a lot of varieties of beers to try. Some made by fruits and even coffee or chocolate. I
that's,
didn't like the chocolate one.
Yeah.
that's really great. Our viewers will be happy to see about all this stuff like beer and all.
Well, that will be it. We are done for the day.
Augusta mentioned that you are the first country to provide, computers, laptops to every child.
Oh, the Plan Ceibal. Okay, Plan Ceibal. We have what we call state policies that are programs and laws that are implemented state-wise, independent from who is ruling the country. The Plan Ceibal is one of our state policies, and it's basically we are a very small country. We are an agricultural uh, exporter. We want to be a tech country as well, and we are. We achieved that. Uh, so for that, we need to start educating our children, and well, the only way to democratize knowledge is to provide internet access. For that, every school here has free internet access,
Great.
and each student from the public education system, that's another important thing to mention, has its own computer. We started with Ceibalitas. It was a very rudimentary device, but right now we have Windows 10 devices and tablets, so they can start coding. We have coding projects for kids, and that's a very advanced program, I would say.
That's really nice, focusing on the education of child, and providing them services like internet services, computer services, technology. That's really great to hear. It's really nice. Thank you so much for sharing all the details with us, and it's really great to have you with us.
I just want to show you the first version of the Plan Ceibal, just real quick here. You can see this was the first device. It's a very kid friendly computer. But right now they are using tablets and notebooks.
That's really interesting.
Well, the last thing to say is you can contact us at your Rotaract Uruguay on Instagram. Our club is rotaract.pac, and you can visit rotaracturuguay.org.
We shall surely
We are. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
How
That's
are you
really-
liking the portal?
Sorry?
Are you liking the portal, the Hubilo portal?
Yes, very much. I didn't know about that technology before, and I was amazed, and I surely will try to implement it.
So there is a chat box in which you can chat with all the participants who are active on Hubilo. So you can see their profile and go chat with them. So you can create connection with different members from different countries.
I will surely do. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Rafael. Thanks. Bye-bye. Sorry.
Mute करो. For the viewers, we will be back with the next session in a few minutes. So stay tuned.